Assalamualaikum dan salam sejahtera. Tuan-tuan, puan-puan, peserta program XLEAP yang dihormati. Majlis akan dimulakan tidak berapa lama lagi dan untuk itu, sukacita memohon kerjasama para hadirin sekalian agar dapat memastikan mikrofon tidak diaktifkan bagi mengelakkan sebarang gangguan dan majlis dapat berjalan dengan lancar. Terima kasih. Para hadirin yang dihormati, majlis diteruskan dengan sesi kedua. Yang berbahagia, Teknologis Dr. Syafiq Fauzi bin Kamarul Zaman, Pensyarah Fakulti Komputeran Universiti Malaysia Pahang. Yang dihormati, Puan Zahara binti Abdul Samad, Ketua Pustakawan Universiti Tun Hussein On Malaysia, selaku moderator program, barisan ketua-ketua pustakawan dan timbalan-timbalan ketua pustakawan Universiti Awam, tuan-tuan, puan-puan, para peserta program yang dihormati. Program XLEAP sesi kedua akan diteruskan lagi dengan perkongsian oleh yang berbahagia Teknologis Dr. Syafiq Fauzi bin Kamarul Zaman. Untuk makluman, program ini akan dikendalikan oleh Puan Zahara binti Abdul Samad selaku moderator program. Tanpa melengahkan masa, majlis dengan segala hormatnya mempersilakan Puan Zahara binti Abdul Samad bersama-sama yang berbahagia Teknologis Dr. Syafiq Fauzi bin Kamarul Zaman dengan perkongsian topik Internet of Things. Dengan segala hormatnya, dipersilakan.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Terima kasih pengacara majlis Cik Siti Fatimah Safiah. Yang berbahagia TS Dr. Syafiq Fauzi binti Kamarul Zaman, Pensyarah Kanan Fakulti Komputer UMP. Selamat datang Doktor ke program kami. Rakan-rakan Ketua Pustakawan dan juga Timbalan Ketua Pustakawan yang menghadiri program kepimpinan pada hari ini. Jadi sebelum kita bersama dengan Dr. Syafiq untuk perkongsian pada pagi ini iaitu berkaitan dengan Internet of Things, saya akan membacakan sedikit profil penceramah kita pada pagi ini. Dr. Syafiq adalah merupakan pensyarah di Universiti Malaysia Pahang dan beliau juga adalah merupakan Fellow of Automotive Engineering Center di UMP dan juga sebagai Exco member dan juga IR 4.0 teknologi untuk Malaysia Robotics Automation Society. Okay, Dr. Syafiq mendapat pendidikan di Universiti Tsukuba, Universiti Tsukuba ya Dr. ya, Japan. Ya, betul. Di peringkat Bachelor, Master dan juga PhD. Jadi Doktor ni memang mahir berbahasa Jepun kot ya. InsyaAllah boleh. Arigato gozaimasu Doktor. Okey, Doktor juga pernah memegang jawatan sebagai Presiden Tsukuba University Alumni Malaysian Chapter dan juga President of Malaysian Student Association in Japan pada tahun 2008. So bidang kepakaran Doktor adalah dalam bidang Artificial Intelligence, okay, Machine Learning, Embedded System, Robotics, Computer Networks, Image Processing. Okay. Selain daripada itu, Doktor juga aktif dalam menyertai beberapa pertandingan dan telah mendapat anugerah dalam pertandingan Cisco Instructor Excellent Award pada tahun 2020. Okay. Tanpa membuang masa, saya persilakan Dr. Syafiq Fauzi untuk berkongsi maklumat berkaitan dengan Internet of Things. Okay. Dipersilakan Doktor.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good afternoon. So saya rasa sebab saya sediakan slide dalam bahasa Inggeris, jadi saya rasa tak ada masalah kalau nak communicate dalam bahasa Melayu, bahasa Inggeris, saya fine lah, tapi cuma dalam untuk penyampaian dia saya rasa lebih mudah untuk saya terangkan term-term dalam bahasa Inggeris lah. Okay, so okay, okay, so basically apa yang saya nak terangkan ni sebab saya sebagai salah seorang instruktor mewakili Cisco. Cisco ni adalah satu syarikat komunikasi di US yang supply barang-barang networking kepada seluruh dunia lah. So kami di Universiti Malaysia Pahang, Fakulti Komputeran, kami ada Cisco Academy di mana kami melatih pelajar-pelajar untuk mendapat certification daripada Cisco lah dari segi network dan sebagainya. Dan antara konten terbaru kami adalah untuk melibatkan Internet of Things lah. Jadi saya mewakili institusi kami, saya akan cuba untuk menerangkan Internet of Things ni dari segi mudah. Konteksnya kalau ikutkan dia punya konten dia ada sedikit technical yang di mana saya dah exclude lah supaya memudahkan tuan-puan faham lah. Ya, okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, so today, okay, I would like to present regarding the Internet of Things. So basically, let's keep in mind for Internet of Things, first is that everything is connected. Okay, everything means everything. Okay, so if we talk about everything, what kind of things that is connected to you right now means that you are connected to your family by your phones. You're connected to your family by your PC. We are connected to each other right now by our computers, right? So everything right now is connected. Then everything is the thing. So Internet of Things is basically things yang connected dengan internet. Okay, things that are connected to the internet means that they have internet signature. They have IP address for all of them. So in case you are considering what things are Internet of Things, so keep in mind that Internet of Things is things that are connected to the internet. Paling senang, okay, the most simple thing is your phone. Your phone is counted as Internet of Things as well. Okay, so right now we are in the evolution of digital transformation. Okay, so all of our smart device, okay, they are a part of this digital transformation. So everybody is connected to the internet 24 hours a day, okay, via Facebook, TikTok, WhatsApp, okay, all of those things. And by 2020, okay, we have for each consumer, okay, for each consumer in Malaysia, we have 6.58 smart devices. Means that excluding your phone, okay, you have 5.58 somewhere else that helps you connect with everybody else in the world. So modern digital networks make all of this possible. Okay, so this digital transformation, okay, is the application of digital technology to provide the stage for business and industry to innovate. So due to digital transformation, right now we have Shopee, kita ada Lazada, okay, we have all those kind of technology that help us purchase things faster, that helps us communicate, like for example, MySejahtera, that help us to communicate with each other, to confirm that our health is okay. So this is the kind of digital transformation that we are facing right now. So when we look at those devices, sometimes we ask ourselves, can this device think? Okay, can this smart device think? Okay, so actually, if programmed appropriately, smart devices are able to evaluate data that is provided to them and modify processes or settings on the fly. So your phone, they will provide some kind of thinking by themselves. The most that you guys don't know, the most you guys didn't notice, you look up Facebook. Okay, this is often happen to me lah. Okay, sometimes, okay, my washing machine is kind of old lah. Okay, 2012, 2003. So I just talking to my wife. Okay, maybe we change our washing machine. Suddenly in Facebook, you got an ad, new washing machine with IoT and everything in the Facebook ad. And then sometime in Lazada, it's like, when do they know that I'm looking for this washing machine? I never thought about somebody else, right? So this is sometimes kind of scary lah, a little bit. So a little bit of hint when you WhatsApp somebody, okay, like you WhatsApp someone, okay, nak tengok, we need new washing machine. Suddenly in your Facebook, because WhatsApp is owned by Facebook, okay, they know, okay, you are looking for new washing machine, they recommend you some of the information from Lazada, from Shopee. So this is how your device thinking right now. And all other Internet of Things devices, okay, with such capabilities, such processing power, they are capable of providing those kind of advice information as well. If use it in a correct way, it is very helpful in a lot of things, okay? But sometimes we kind of like freak out to those kind of technologies because we think that our privacy might be exposed lah. Okay, so if provided with sufficient data, they can learn and modify their own code based on the new parameters that provided to them. So in this case, I'm looking for washing machine. In my WhatsApp to my wife, I mentioned washing machine, and then suddenly these parameters become the learning process in the device. Okay, so and then suddenly advertisement for washing machine come with me. Yeah. Okay, so this kind of technology, okay, they use sensors. Okay, they use sensors to control a lot of things. Like for example, in case you are talking about washing machine, they use sensors and analyze your voice pattern. Okay, in terms of in case you are in a library, okay, you find out sensors how many people coming in, coming out. You have your sensors in the entrance of your library. Like for example, you tap your card. So those kind of sensors is connected to this device. Okay, it's like we have these days, not yet in Malaysia, but in like, for example, in US, the kind of trending right now is self-driving car, like Tesla. So they have complicated sensors like ultrasound, cameras, precision GPS, and computers, everything like that. So all of this can be a part of the Internet of Things. So what make Internet of Things different, basically? So sensors exist for more than 30, 40 years already. But right now, these sensors are booming right now just because of network. Right now we have 4G, we have 5G. So when we have 4G and 5G, the latency of the network become less. Means that you can communicate with each other with a very low latency, like how I communicate with you guys. Okay, through the internet, we can communicate with each other without any lagging, right? So this is not possible 20 to 30 years ago. However, due to this capability, okay, we can provide 50 billion things, okay, to provide trillions of gigabytes of data on the network on the go anytime. Okay, so networks provide the foundation for the internet and digitalized world. Okay, and then network can range from simple network consisting of 2 computers to a lot of computers, including your phones and even those smart devices like IoT device. Okay, possibly if you have a water bottle, I think 10 to 20 years later, a water bottle from Tupperware here, okay, like what I'm holding right now. Okay, water bottle from Tupperware here might include an RFID chip that I can trace where I left it. So that, okay, if I left Tupperware somewhere else, okay, my wife can just check in the smartphone, you left your Tupperware at your office or something like that. Okay, it's kind of, the technology might be possible in the future lah. Okay, so these networks can provide products and services to customers through their connection to the internet. And the internet is the largest network in existence and effectively provides the electronic skin that surrounds the planet. So means that in the planet right now, okay, you can go anywhere with an internet access if you have the correct channel. So like when I'm from UMP Pekan, we might not have internet access, but the good internet access. But if we have a proper channel, like for example, Starlink, okay, we have Elon Musk, you know, the billionaire Elon Musk, they provide Starlink internet access that can give access around the world. Okay, I did have applied for Pekan for under the Starlink, and even in Pekan, you can get access to satellite communication with 4G. Okay, so everywhere you can connect it through the internet. And for your information, in my own opinion, the internet is basically a very large library. Okay, internet is very large library lah. Okay, so it's not limited to books. It's not limited to books. Right now, library in terms of computer science, when we talk about library, we refer on codes, we refer on demonstration, we refer on video demonstration, we refer on tutorial. Okay, those kind of content should be considered as library material as well, not just book. Like for example, video demonstration on how do you do welding, video demonstration on how do you solder, video demonstration of how you program things. Even sometimes when we talk about library, I myself create with my students, we have our own cloud cloud server, that we have our own cloud library that we store programs for reference. So when we put in, okay, I'm looking for a program, like my student looking a program to detect face, okay, facial recognition between man and a woman. So they have, I have this kind of server that they can browse and look at the sample codes that I have. So in my opinion, those kind of things should be included in a library as well. So that students who are more technical, like we in MTUN, like for example, UMP, UNIMAP, UTM, UTHM. So we should have a library. We should have a library that consists of all those kind of demonstration and those kind of technical works explanation as a part of our content in our library lah. So this is how I think internet should work lah. Okay, so based on this internet network, we have a lot of network types. Okay, we have a lot of network types. The most common types, okay, as usual in library, okay, and the most thing that the students always complain is the internet and Wi-Fi sucks. Okay, so this is why we have the local area network, okay, where we have a network with a small geographic area, okay, in a building. So, and then we have a wide area network. Usually this is campus wide. Like for example, in UMP, we have Pahang, Gambang campus, and also in Pekan campus, we are connected under one wide area networks. Okay, and then we have internet. Okay, internet is global network. Okay, everything connected to internet. Your phones, everything connected to internet. And then you have wireless network other than Wi-Fi. Like for example, you have a radio network, police radio, okay, bomber radio, something like that. That the one they use in for rescue mission, something like that. And we have the cloud. The cloud is one of the common things that I think, in my opinion, the library, as a librarian, okay, I once when I was in school, sekolah menengah, saya pun pustakawan. I wear baju hijau in pustakawan. I know lah, sorting of the books, everything, right? So as a library, we should have our own cloud. Cloud, what does it mean by cloud? Cloud is a server that can store all those information regarding the data that we have. Okay, a library. Okay, basically a library in terms of term is where data is collected and assembled. And where you want to reference all those data, you can just take it from the library. Okay, so cloud is a part of a data center. So as a library, you don't need to have a very big server, something like that. You can utilize cloud, you store information there, and you can refer back. Okay, so and then next we have the edge. Edge computing is also a part of a trend right now. In terms of, like for example, what kind of edge that you have? Your edge that you have is your access to the library. When you give access to a student wants to come to the library, you tap your RFID, you tap your NFC card, okay, your ID card, and then there's a computer that process, check, store all those information. Okay, those computer is called edge device, the one that is connected to the network. Okay, other than that, we have fog computing, which is a collection of network that is connected to each other. And then the most common thing that you have right now, the network that the closest to you right now is your personal area network. Okay, like I'm wearing right now. My personal area network is Bluetooth headset. My personal area network is my smartphone, and my personal network is my wireless mouse and my wireless keyboard and my laptop. So this is my own network. Okay, your personal own network. Those we call this personal area network. So summarize what is the IoT. Okay, IoT is basically connection of millions of these smart devices and sensors that is connected to the internet. Okay, previously inanimate objects such as doorknobs, light bulbs can now be equipped with sensor that can collect and transfer data to a network. Okay, and an estimated 3 million new devices are connected to the internet each month. And I myself in UMP, okay, I was designated around 30 IP by UMP to test devices around UMP campus lah. So we can connect to each other, find out new application that I can use within UMP. Okay, so and then there are estimated in the next 4 years, there are going to be 50 billion connected devices worldwide, including sensors from all range of things. Like I mentioned before, if you have maybe in 5 to 10 years, your Tupperware might have your own IP address that is connected to the internet. Okay. So 2/3 will be things, which is sensors, actuators, and newly invented intelligent devices that monitor, control, analyze, and optimize our world. So this is what we're going to expect in the future. All around us, they will have sensors, including CCTV. CCTV is also count as a sensors as well. Okay. So what are the benefit of this thing? Okay. So the benefit of these devices differs according to organization. Okay, like library, you have the benefit like reducing the strain of your working. Okay, means that instead of you manually check, okay, the date of assembly, everything, you can just create of those students who did not submit. You can just check online system online that can show you, report you how many books being borrowed, how many books being written. Okay, there are a lot of benefits depending on the organization as well. Okay, so like for example in cafe right now, okay, we might have cashless payment later on. You just pick any coffee you want without talking to the staff. Okay, you can pay and then you can leave. So this is the benefit of the IoT device that we can have in the future. So how are those IoT devices connected to the network? Okay, right now, the things that are most trending in Shopee lah, from my point of view lah, smart home punya equipment, smart home equipment where you have switches, light switches that are connected to Wi-Fi. You can turn off or turn on from your smartphone, even though you are far away. You balik kampung, and then you can turn on and turn off your house, inside your house, with those smart switch, as long as your switch connected to the internet. So those sensors, okay, since we have for IoT device, there are 3 things, okay, that are connected to the network: sensors, okay, controller, and also actuators. Okay, so for sensors, they are the one that collecting data. Controller is the one that process the data to decide what kind of action that it should use, okay, it should do. And then we have the actuator. So actuator is when they do something in terms of physical movement based on the instruction given by the controller. They might send the data information to somewhere else, or they might move a motor, okay, or they might turn on the switch, turn off a switch. Okay, so this kind of things are what we call actuators. Sensors collect data, actuators take the data and perform an action. So basically, these 3 things are the fundamental of IoT. Yeah. Okay, so for in the future, so you might think that those sensors and actuators, they decide on what they should do on their own. So this is where we have what we call artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, when we embed in sensors and actuator, we can have them decide based on the sensors information what action you should do, so that you can come to your office, feel safe that okay, nothing should be happen because everything is computerized. Artificial intelligence make sure that the place is safe. And then we have the intent-based networking, where you have networks that reroute, guide, or secure itself. So in the future, you have a lot of equipments, a lot of device. Those AI in the network will help secure your information, even in your cloud. Okay. So based on those IoT, what we need to understand is that those IoT device, all of them, they generate data. Okay, they generate data. So what kind of data that they generate, okay, might be depending on the request of the owner. They say, like for example, a farmer might need to know the soil content of the farm. Okay, the farmer need to know how moist is the soil. Okay, but in terms of library, you might have some requirement that you think I should need to know about how many books, how many students coming in, out, okay, what time they come in, what time they come out. So there are sensors specifically for that can help you to obtain those information. But with a lot of information come a lot of responsibility. This one is sometimes like the Spider-Man juga, with big information come big responsibility. So what means a big responsibility? Okay, so you need to make sure that those information is being stored and secure properly. Okay, so when we think about we talk about IoT, the next thing that comes to IoT is big data. Okay, big data. So big data is where you have a lot of data, sometimes useful, sometimes not useful, sometimes relevant, sometimes not relevant. Okay, and those data might represent some kind of insight, some kind of wisdom, some kind of hikmah. Okay, like I said that every information have a wisdom. So you have to know what you should do with those information. So before you decide on what to do information, you need to store them in a space first. Do you have a space? So cloud computing, cloud server usually is the best place for you to store all those information. Okay, so this information also, okay, as I mentioned before, as a library is where all the information being stored. Okay, you have videos, you have demonstration videos, you have files that you can refer, copy, paste. Okay, you need to have access to those information as well. This is a velocity. Okay, in no point if you have a very big library full of information, but only 10 students, 20 students can access at one time. So it's not good. Okay, it's not practical in a way. So you need to have a very good access method, access quality to those information. Okay. So just to demonstrate how big is the data. Okay, you know that Tesla have the autonomous car that can drive by itself. So one autonomous car, they generate 4,000 gigabit data per day. Okay, in terms of analytics of how to move the car lah. So I think in terms of like library or farm, they don't have that much lah. But that is the way the trend right now. Data usage will be more and more, will increase more and more in the future. So by the time the government implement 5G in the country, and I think when they implement 5G, the first thing that they will encourage is that all library in the university must have 5G access. Okay, so what we're going to do with those 5G? Okay, so there's a lot of things, like for example, collect data, store information in the library. So I do propose to some of the management in UMP to have our library as a form of data center, open data center, so that all the student who wants, like for example, pekan temperature today, they can download it from the library website. Okay, you want to know how, okay, taburan hujan tahunan di Pahang. Okay, the taburan hujan tahunan di Pahang, they want to do for the research. Okay, you go to the library, what data you want, you have the data set in the library, you can download it from the library. So that one is very beneficial to the students and also the lecturer, because we lecturers, we need information, we provide information, we need information, we need data to validate our research. So where do we store this data? Where do we share with this data? Should be shared through a method of data collection, which is the library. Okay. So big data, what is a big data? Basically, it's a large data set. So a very big place that have a large data set. So when you store information, like for example, a library that have millions of books, okay, they are count as a big data. So you have all your books in PDF, for example, PDF format. All your thesis, students are not submitting physical thesis anymore. Students are submitting digital thesis. So you need a very big data set to store all these theses, and you need to have velocity in your access so that student can download. I want to refer to my senior thesis. You can download Open Library website, download it from it, and then you have your own server. So this is where big data comes in a library. So when we talk about big data, they have 5 challenges. Okay, so IBM big data. Okay, usually they were created. Each day they create 2.5 quintillion bytes of data. Okay, you have billion, trillion, and after trillion is quintillion. Okay, so bytes of data each day. So what is the problem here? Okay, the problem is how to manage those data. Okay, how to manage the data, how to secure those data, how to make sure redundancy happen. Redundancy means that, okay, if the data, if like for example, one hard drive rusak, okay, one hard drive broken in your server contains data of information of the thesis in year 2019. Okay, how do you make sure that data is safe in somewhere else, in another hard drive? So this is redundancy. If one thing's broken, it doesn't affect all those other information. Okay, so this is usually happening. Okay, last time we have Facebook down. What happened when Facebook down? We cannot access Facebook, right? Supposedly, if redundancy happened, one server down, there is another server that backup the service that helps secure that the service is capable to operate as usual, even though one of the computer is down. This is where redundancy is required. And then with all those information, a lot of data comes a lot of analytics. Okay, we have data. What is data is about? So you need to filter out data, good data, bad data, okay, usable data, unusable data. So this is where analytics come in. So good is that with analytics, you can understand, you can create decision. So some of the meeting with industry, I asked them, okay, when can you explain to me how analytics affect your meeting? Okay, so they explain to us, based on this certain data, we create graph, okay, we create trends, we understand the trends, we can help improve our working condition. Staff happy, production increase, and they got more profit. So this is where analytics come in. And with analytics, a lot of analytics, we go towards access. And library, the most important thing, okay, instead of having data, big data is access. Okay, you cannot call yourself a library if you cannot have everybody, okay, all your intended person to have a proper access to your information. Okay, if not, you call bank, tak call library. Okay, library, people can come and take it. Okay, bank, you just store it there and nobody can come in, okay, without permission. So if a library means that you have to have a proper network access to all those information. So let's say that you have a network in your library. I think most of you in the university have networks in the library. Okay, so if you have network, means that you must store some information in your server inside your library. But how can you access the information? Can a person, like for example, a student who are now work from home, who have like for example, like we in Pahang, okay, because of the flooding, the students in KL cannot come back to Pahang. So can they have access to some of those information in your library? So this is one of the issue that we have that must be solved by the librarians, okay, to make sure that when you want to provide a service, you must have a quality of service to those you are intended to. Okay, which is most important thing is the access. So where can we store this big data? Okay, so a lot of people here, okay, a lot of technologists out there, there are a lot of engineers, they suggest that the most effective way to store information of big data is in a cloud computing. Why? A cloud computing, usually there are industries. Okay, we can call cloud computing provider industries. Industries that provide access. Okay, they are more like banks. Banks, in case of banks, we give them money, they store this money, and when we need them, they give us to us. So in cloud computing provider, service provider like AWS, Microsoft Azure, okay, they provide those kind of service. You give them the data and then they store it for you. When you need it, they can provide analytics. You can access it as whatever you want, however you want. Okay, good thing is also similar like bank. If somebody rob the bank, okay, insurance will cover the money, and then the data, your money is still safe, okay, in the bank. So cloud computing provider, they also provide those kind of things. Means that if you give them your information, your data store in those cloud computing company, okay, like AWS or Microsoft Azure, they make sure that your data is still secure. Means that in case there are some broken or hacked or whatsoever, your data is still there. Okay, so this is the best way Okay, 20, 30 years ago, like big company like Motorola, they despise cloud computing. They despise cloud computing. They say that this is a secure hazard for our information, our patents, everything, right? But these days, all of them migrate to cloud computing recently, so that that is more secure lah. So just in case if like something happened, like flooding happened, whole factory got burned down, okay, your patents, your design still safe in the cloud server. Even though your server in your factory got flooded up to the second story. So for cloud services, okay, you can store any kind of information that you want. So you have pictures, movies, videos, PDF, okay. So we have a lot of cloud services enterprise. Okay, right now, the most famous one that we have that we can access right now is Microsoft Azure and AWS. I think Cybersecurity Malaysia, they are still in the process of providing a government standard cloud for all our government services to protect our own data lah for Jabatan Pendaftaran Negara. I forgot the name lah. There is a term there. There is terms for data center in Malaysia lah. They are working on it, and I think within 5 years you will see that Arkib Negara will be digital. In 5 years, Arkib Negara will be 5 to 10 years. Arkib Negara will be digital. So every information will be digital from now on, and from there they will provide access to all government services. So all government services will be based on cloud, and the cloud will be hosted somewhere and protected by blockchain, everything lah. So you don't need to feel insecure for your data later on in the future. Okay, and due to, like I mentioned before, due to some kind of we call it distributed processing. Okay, in case like for example, all those libraries, MTON libraries, UMP, UTM, UNIMAP, and also UTHM. Okay, you have your own cloud, you have your own big data facilities, you have all your libraries there. Okay, when some things need to be done, like for example, somebody who wants to do a conference, who wants to do some kind of programs that involve all this for university, you can easily access those information and you can easily conduct the program online, digital. Like for example, UNIMAP have this video, your lecturer's video talk about this in UNIMAP, in UTHM, UNIMAP, UMP, UTM. Okay, and then when you do the program, you can just take the link from this kind of access and we can do it in one place online. So this is the future that we have in distributed processing that reduce the strain in organizing data in one location. Okay, so basically, okay, this is one I did mention. Why do businesses analyze data? Okay, so this one basically just as you said, they just want to improve the efficiency of the company. Okay, the efficiency. So means that when you as a library wants to analyze, why do we need to collect data, analyze data, is for us to increase efficiency of the library. Okay, and also for library, you need to make sure that you have the source of information correctly. Okay, so like UMP, okay, we haven't had a data library yet in UMP. I did suggest in Faculty Computer we have our own data library where we have a library for teaching plan, course content, student marks, everything. If you know that we lecturers, where we do a course, we need to make a teaching folder where contents of new when you call it questions, answers, samples of answers that we can submit to MQA or whatever. We in Faculty Computer, we have a digital library that each lecturer for every semester you have to upload all those information, and I have to scan. So the problem is that when we do paperwork, the students submit in paper, we have to scan everything, okay, and then we submit it online. So the good thing is that after 5 years, we can still refer back. Okay, this student almost graduate. What is the, okay, he needs around 5 more marks for him to get a good CGPA, like 3.75 for him to not exclude in PTPTN. So where to help him? So we usually, look at the course. Okay, this course is CPCP. Can we refer to the question? Is it the marks okay, everything? We just refer to the library back 5 years ago or 5 years ago. The student was performing okay, and then we just increase the mark there lah. Then suddenly the student can get 3.75 and then without paying PTN lah. So this is one of good thing that we have in the library, where you have all those information stored there. Even your teaching class. Okay, we have lecturers who are already passed away, who have video recording of the class that we can still share, okay, to the students. Okay, this lecturer is a good lecturer. Okay, he explained very well. Okay, we have this in our platform. Okay, you can refer to this anytime you want. Okay, and for all those data, what you need to know that the most important part is the data visualization. When you have all those information being collected by the IoT device, stored in a database, how do you visual? How do you visual all those information? How do you make life easy for those who are operating with this data? Like for example, you want to know how to arrange again the books in your library. You want to know how many files being uploaded into the cloud server. So the data visualization should help those people make their life easier in operating all those information. Usually, most of important things when you talk about data, we talk about graphs lah. Okay, line, column, bar, pie, scatter, okay, everything. So this is where you have information that can be used for decision making and also for any other things that you want. So to summarize, we have 3 platforms. Okay, when you talk about IoT, the first thing is the things itself. Okay, where you have things, where you have sensors, everything. Okay, like for example, you have a barcode to collect all those books. Okay, so you have clocks. Okay, and then you have the next one, connecting to those things is the cloud physical server that receive all those information, all those data from the sensor. And finally, we have this visualization platform. Okay, so this visualization platform is where you visualize the performance of those data that you have inside your server lah. Okay, it doesn't matter you have we don't have cloud server, we have physical server. You want to store a physical server, it's okay, you can still operate it, but there are risks, both cloud and physical, there are risks on those using those servers. As long as you tackle those risks professionally, okay, properly, you can mitigate all those risks later on in the future. Okay, so next is automated. Okay, when you talk about IoT and then you have data storage and then you have analytics, then comes the first thing, which is automation. So the best automation that you can have from library is that when you borrow books and you return books, no people involved. So this is the best automation that we can have lah. So like this one is in Singapore, in library in Singapore, you have the robots that return back the books to the shelf that it belongs. Okay, so there's where we call automation is that we replace the need of the human. I don't like to use the word replace. Okay, the foreigners like to use the word replace, but in Malaysia I like the term permudah. Okay, we simplify, we reduce the workload of the staff lah. We reduce the workload of the staff that you can rely on the robots. Okay. So how can the automation being used? Okay, you have right now we have smart city, smart home automation. Okay, you can have it in the library as well. You can have your gates, your door to be automated open. Okay, as long as, like for example, students want to use your study booth in your library, you can have them arrange online everything, and then when they come to the room, you can just scan the QR code at the door, and then they got the door automatically unlocked. They can come in anytime that they want, 11 PM at night, whatsoever. Like for example, when I was in Japan before, my library is 24 hours, but the staff was not there 24 hours. So what do we do? Okay, most of them it's not digital yet. It's not digital yet. It's based on trust. Okay, when you go there, okay, you can have your card tap in a key locker. Card tap in a key locker. They give you access to the key, you open the door, and then when you return, you return back the key. So usually the library, we use it as tempat solat lah when I was in Japan. So library booth is small, right? Okay, it's hard for us to find tempat solat. Okay, even for solat Jumaat. So we are not many of us in Japan during that time, and then we solat Jumaat in the library lah, in a very small book area lah. We assemble it again lah. So this is how automation can be done. Okay, without the access of human in all of those. We try to reduce human interaction in those kind of process. So when those things, Internet of Things, okay, the things start to think, okay, they can automate a lot of things. Like for example, in terms of library, you can have for staff management, resource management, storage management, okay, decision making, data analytics, okay, and then also we have influence analysis, means that you study how the students, okay, how the staff are utilizing the library, and also you have communication handling so that the student can access to all those all other students from like for example, okay, we do have like in UMP we have also questions among my students. Okay, how can we have a group discussion online with other students when we need access to the library? Like for example, you need to find the books they access in the library, and then right now we are all work from home. How can we do a discussion in a library? So does the library have internet access or like a screen that you can talk to each other while at home or something like that lah? So this is also kind of like the issues. Okay, there are no solution for that yet. Okay, the issues that we need to consider lah. Okay, and when we have when we start the things start to think. Okay, here comes the most complicated part, which we have AI, where the things start to make decision by himself. Okay, how can I give example of an AI? So like for example, I myself, okay, when I go to the library, I keep buat sepah lah dekat dalam library punya booth lah. So usually the access is usually by card, and then I register by card, and then automatically the door open, right? Okay, based on some image processing from a camera inside the booth, for security, you have camera inside the booth, and then they say that, oh, Dr. Shafiq, this person coming in this booth, okay, he make the booth kucak-kacir, okay, sits when a lot of things major tunggang-tunggang terbalik, and next time when I want to go back there, he doesn't give me access anymore. Okay, I cannot come into the book to the booth. Suddenly the computer, based on the analytics, they recognize that I'm a troublemaker and my access will be blocked to the library. So this is is happening like this in China. Okay, in China they have a very, very sophisticated AI system that can provide up until those kind of decision making. You're a troublemaker, you are not granted access to this place. You late submitters, okay, of your books, okay, we deduct some marks from you, and then next time when you come to the library, you cannot borrow any books anymore. So this is automated. Nobody involved, and then they complain to the staff. Oh, I'm sorry, the staff said we cannot do anything because everything is automated. So this is the normal answer. Okay, when you go to this, why I cannot get access to this? Okay, I'm sorry, this is system automated. There must be something wrong that you did. Okay, like Malaysia, okay, if something's happened there, system ni tak ada apa, okay lah, boleh lah jalan kan. Also in Malaysia is something like that, system rosak, system ni lah. In China, okay, like for example China and Singapore, they trust the system first. Okay, they trust the system first. System like this, okay, they must be. So this is blacklisted also, but they trust the system first because they know that the system, they paid a lot for the system. They must make sure that the system is operating perfectly lah. Okay. So machine learning and IoT comes together, and this is where my research comes in. Okay, so when I embed machine learning and IoT, how can I integrate speech recognition in IoT? Means that there's a microphone under the table that recognize your speech and submit it into Microsoft Word into the PDF. Suddenly it's like a minute meeting. So you create a minute meeting automatically based on things discussed on inside the meeting room. So suddenly keluar PDF. Okay, this is what mention here. The person A, person B, person C, based on the location, say this. So something like that also possible. And then we have product recommendation. Product recommendation is where you have advertisement. Like for example, you have new books in the library, and then you have a screen near the library. Okay, and then suddenly a person came in, looks like a girl with a fancy tudung or whatever lah. And then when she stand in front of the screen, suddenly the screen change. Produk kecantikan. Ni. Okay, so you can tell cosmetic products. Yeah. So this way we call target-based advertisement. So this is based on time. Even we did research like based on time maksudnya. Like for example in the afternoon pukul 12, okay, almost pukul 12, when you walk in front of the booth, suddenly keluar McDonald's Prosperity Burger. Okay, so sometimes nasi kukus, whatever advertisement based on the time, based on the person walking in front of the screen. So this is also possible in the future. If not in the future, right now there are some companies providing them. Okay. So you have shape recognition. Okay, shape recognition is for you to clarify, like for example, you mark your books in your library with certain shape categories. Like you have certain books in this category, certain books in this category. You have like more like QR code, but more simplified version of QR code. certain fancy shape, maybe like emojis, whatever, right? So you just put it into a bucket, and suddenly they recognize by camera. They can recognize the shape, and then they can just store this information somewhere lah. Okay, so this is sometimes less technical lah comparing to QR code. And then credit card fraud detection, maksudnya you have any fraud detection you can have with machine learning and IoT. And then most important, facial recognition lah. So I'll explain some of the technologies that we have like now available for you guys to consider lah. So with all those information, okay, with all those data, things that most important when you have data, yeah, like I mentioned before, with great data comes great responsibility. Means that you have to store those data properly without possibility of access. If you means that library can get access to credit card information, like for example, anything paid now can be paid to MAE, Maybank to you, credit card, Visa, MasterCard, whatever. How do you secure all those data there? So we are now going to cashless. Okay, I don't think last time. I think right now I'm in UTM. Okay, I am outstation for around 4 days right now, and I haven't used any cash yet. Okay, all of them by PayWave and also MAE lah. So all those information in library, how do you store those kind of information? If the student have to pay for the damages of the book, missing of the book, so if they can pay online, okay, whatsoever, if they late fees, how they can pay online, okay, and then how do you protect all those information? So when you buy online, one thing that is good for online is keterisan lah. When you buy cash, you cannot make sure that the cash is properly stored, okay, sometimes lah. So when online, everything is masked, and then you can store those information. But this is most important for you to make sure that all those personal identifiable information, PII, sensitive personal information, SPI, must be secured properly, because this one tertakluk kepada Akta Data Peribadi Malaysia. Okay, so when you do some kind of new technology, even I as an inventor of new technology, okay, so we need to make sure that we can abide to this kind of rules lah. So who are those things who wants your data, basically? Okay, we have the good guys and the bad guys. Okay, so the good guys, okay, this is where the legitimate companies that have agreement in place to use the collected data about you. Okay, this is usually the things that you almost press yes all the time. When you install Facebook, you install WhatsApp, terms and condition. Anybody read those terms and condition or not? So if you don't read of the term of condition, don't be surprised that when you think about buying a washing machine, and suddenly came out the advertisement of washing machine in your phone. So this is the most important things about the good guys. Okay, and they are the bad guys. Okay, we have issues regarding phishing. Okay, in UMP we ada phishing, kita ada ransomware. Okay, so might be in issues. I think as a data center, the most critical case that I have heard is because of ransomware. Means that they block your library, your information data, you cannot get access, and nobody can get access unless you pay a certain amount of money. This is up until hospital, airport have been affected by this ransomware. So this is where you need to consider all those kind of issues that we can have in these days. So when you have data in wrong hand, okay, there's a lot of there's a lot of things that are affecting the business. Okay, you have like for example in Yahoo and Gmail, you have your access, your Gmail account has been accessed. I myself has been twice my credit card information being stolen from me. One when I was in Japan, and three times. Two when I was in Japan, and one time is Malaysia. Okay, all of them being hacked through my web account, because I frequent user of internet, use Amazon UK, Amazon US. So when I was in Japan, somebody hacked my account and take my credit card information, but the bank recovered it. Okay, and then they deal with the cost, everything. They return back the card. They erase all those purchases lah. And in Malaysia also, I got one time affected under Maybank. But unlike Japan solved those issues within 3 days. In Malaysia, Maybank, they reimburse my purchase. Not my purchase, somebody purchased from me using my credit card. They reimburse take around 3 months lah. So this kind of information, I think they also prepare about it. But in Malaysia, we are not really emphasize on this lah. Okay, so based on what is the best practice for the security, okay, I think in case of your application and library, you need to have some IT guy to provide you a recommendation, an IT consultant to provide a recommendation. So you need to perform frequent risk assessment, physical security measures, okay, human resource security measures, backup, okay, a lot of things, encrypt data, okay, and then you have to make education on how to use it properly, access, okay. Even there is one case, one of my student, final year student, third year student in UMP. We in FK, we have a course called ethical hacking. In faculty content, we call it ethical hacking. So one of the students is using the library to do the assignment. What do you think the assignment is? The assignment is hacking. Okay, the assignment is hacking. And when she do the hacking, okay, she hacked the UMP server. Because UMP server is within access. She hacked the UMP server, and suddenly the UMP server got denial of service for 1 day, and everybody got panic. Okay, you cannot check into and then so the staff find out who is it, and it's just a little girl in the library doing the assignment, and then she got panicked. I didn't do anything. You hacked our library, you hacked our network. Now all of them are down, and then she cried. Even the technical tried to make fun of her. We call police. You have to go to jail. Everything. Very pity little girl. Like now, she's being famous in our faculty for. Even the lecturer got praise. You are effectively teaching the student to hack. So dia tak sengaja lah. Okay, so this kind of thing issues can happen lah. Okay, so for library, like for example, you need to make sure that in case you have a data center, physical data center, you need to have a physical security lah. So because physical security important. And when you establish physical security, okay, some of the vendor who create those data center, they suggest, like for example, security traps. Means that before you can get access all those buildings, you have to go through the security trap here, where you have access card, you can have the access card, you have facial recognition inside there. Okay. Okay, so the challenges of securing IoT device, in case you are implementing IoT device later on, okay, they are increasing. The number is increasing. Okay, even right now we have 1 billion. In a few years we have 10 billion, 50 billions. Okay, even my water bottle comes with IoT IP address, something like that. Okay, and then you have a non-traditional location of device. So non-traditional location of device, the most non-traditional location of IoT device I have seen so far is in the toilet. Means that your toilet, you have an IoT system there that can detect whether your toilet is flush, clean or not. So this is the most non-traditional things that I've seen so far lah. Okay, and then you have lack of upgradability. Okay, so the IoT sensor enabled device may be located in remote area, okay, on an inaccessible area. You pasang IoT dalam pipe, macam mana you nak tukar, right? After 1 year, tiba device rosak. Okay, so this is one of the challenges of the IoT device lah later on in the future lah. This is one of our tasks lah. And the most important thing is that your IoT device usually, like for example, our IoT device usually they will be used in together with Wi-Fi. How do you operate the students and also the IoT device within one network? How do you differentiate IoT students, IoT device, and also students? So they have access control, everything. Also, this kind of information. For example, there is a firewall. Some firewall is effective against students, but not good in collecting data. For example, firewall interrupt data collection. But with students, we need to have firewall. So those kind of information is kind of a challenge lah in implementing IoT in our society lah. Okay, so in order to protect the device, usually we keep our firewall on. Okay, we have a manager to operate the system and browser. We protect all our device from access from outside. We use antivirus and anti-spyware. This is the most common thing that we have lah. Okay, so when we have a lot of issues, okay, in a library, like for example, we have smart library, things that you need to consider is smart sensor will increase the potential of security issues regarding cybersecurity threat. Okay, and then the sensors could provide a way for hackers to get into our library network and get access to any PC data that are connected to it. Okay, because library, everybody can access, supposedly, and there is a risk of that. And when you want to purchase library security system, is very important to research the developer and the security and encryption protocols that are in place for this product. Okay, so I myself would encourage if for those our M2 University. So I'm right now currently in UTM, and I've seen some of the lecturers who are doing IoT as well. So I think in Unimap and UTHM, you have your own lecturers who are doing IoT. If you want to integrate IoT within your library, before going to vendors, find the lecturers first and ask them. Some of the lecturers say that, oh, I can do this by my own with my students. And then it helps the lecturer, it helps the culture in university to develop more knowledgeable people inside your campus. Okay. Okay, so in university also you have public hotspot, okay, and then supposedly library you must have public hotspot lah. Okay, so make sure that all those hotspot is secure with network, everything. So this one usually this slide is intended for students who are using the hotspot, not those provide the hotspot lah. Okay, so basically for lastly, I'm prepare for the future. So to summarize my talk for today, okay, technology is improving. So try to utilize and as best as we can, because technology was developed to help us, not to deprive us from a lot of things. So like I said before, teknologi tujuan dia adalah untuk mempermudahkan. And then as long as dia boleh mempermudahkan, try your best to integrate in your life, because life is getting difficult near on in the future. So try to use technology as much as you can. Like what we did today, we have online course here, okay, instead of having face-to-face. Okay, so this is technology, and technology make our life easier and keep us in a very as an informed person lah in the future. Okay, so I think that's all for today. So before I end, I would like to explain, I would like to show some kind of information lah. Some kind of application example in IoT, so library. So this one, okay, this one I think in the US, okay, they use NFC with RUG monitor. So each book they have an NFC. They trace the book based on the NFC chip on the book, and then this will have NFC reader. So they recognize based on the location of the rack, everything lah. And all of this information is stored in the server, so the student can find, and you can authenticate those who can authenticate what kind of books there. And then you have the user, then you based on Wi-Fi. So this is one in the US lah. Okay. And then some of them also you did utilize RFID. Okay, RFID for tagging, everything, shelf management. Okay, so like in Singapore before, they even use robots to help them store again the books there in the shelf. And this one in Estonia, book lending based on facial recognition. So you need to register your face in the library, and next time when you go to the library, you can just go to the screen, hold the books like this, and then they record you. Okay, you can, oh, this is this person borrowing this book for today. This one in Estonia. But at first you need to register. You need to register university by capturing your photo first. Okay, then they can read back most of the time. And here we have in Sunway campus. Okay, Sunway campus Malaysia, we have this facial recognition to enter the library. Okay, they don't need to use access card. But this is also a constraint where you have to have your image being your data image being stored inside the data center inside your library lah. So this is the challenge. The big data here is the personal information. Who is he? The image. So storing those information so that the information does not leak outside also a challenges. And the Sunway campus, they tackle it perfectly well. Okay, in terms of having information, personal information for access. Okay, and then you have advertisement here. This is what I mentioned before. Okay, somebody standing in front, they can give recommendation. This is one of my project with UMP. I want to do a project and to implement in UMP actually, in UMP library lah. But first we go in faculty computer first. So we create an advertisement board that can suggest lah programs of library programs. If you're a woman, they suggest women programs. Okay, like for example, kuliah wanita ke apa. Okay, and then kuliah agama, and then sometimes okay, other programs we want to make sure that they list down. Okay, what is a good program that we are having, kursus. Okay, that we have later on. We are organizing inside the library, something like that lah. So this is what I'm moving on as an innovator. Okay, so I'm closing my talk for today. So I'm open to any questions that you have. Thank you very much.
Terima kasih Dr. Syafiq atas perkongsian yang saya rasa penuh bermanfaat lah. Okay, daripada konsep IoT itu sendiri kepada issues dan juga challenges dan juga application yang berkaitan dengan IoT. Di library. Okay, mungkin ada library yang telah menggunakan face recognition tu, Doktor. Saya rasa di UTM untuk ruang 24 jam, ya, di ruang 24 jam dia sebab tak ada nobody maintain ataupun oversee the room, and then di UM pun according to Dr. Kasiah pun ada juga menggunakan face recognition. Okay, RFID saya rasa memang most of the library memang menggunakan RFID. Yes. Okey, saya buka kepada persoalan daripada peserta semua. Boleh type di ruang chat ataupun terus berinteract direct dengan Dr. Syafiq sendiri. Okey, sementara kita menunggu Doktor, soalan daripada saya. Saya tertarik dengan perkongsian Doktor tadi berkaitan dengan washing machine tadi tu. That means Doktor berwhatsapp dengan wife lah kan? Nak
saya WhatsApp.
Baru. So tiba-tiba Facebook pun update berkenaan dengan apakah produk-produk kot yang related to.
Kita kat Facebook kita ada yang Lazada punya advertisement ke Shopee punya kan. So dia update kat situ.
Okay, bila kita relate sampel ni dengan library situation lah Doktor. Kalau kami boleh tahu apa yang user kami nak sebelum dia masuk library ataupun bila dia masuk kat library tu kita dah boleh detect dah. Sebenarnya dia ni daripada fakulti mana, dia nak refer kepada buku apa dan adakah buku tersebut berada di library. Ataupun itu satu, and then kita pun ada online databases, kita ada e-books, kita ada e-resources. Mungkin dalam masa yang sama pun kita boleh suggest kepada user tersebut apakah e-resources yang sesuai atau berkaitan dengan courses yang diambil. So is it possible Doktor untuk menggunakan IoT application to that kind of profiling lah kepada user perpustakaan ni? Itu soalan saya.
Okay, untuk profiling macam tu. Okay, in technical way lah. Sebab saya suka fikir dalam technical way because in terms of technical kita senang nak deliver. So in terms of technical, I like to see macam masa they access, masa that person access the library with the card, like ID card. Of course, the ID card have the information of the student from which faculty kan. So like for example, when they touch the information board lah, for example from this, you ada satu advertisement board lah contohnya lah, they touch the card, okay, they ada nickname keluar, okay, hi Amira for example kan, hi Amira, okay, so we have new books for you. Okay, this is for example, like she is from Faculty of Literature, for example. We have new books from 2020. We have this, and then are you looking for something else? Okay, dia macam more towards recommendation lah. So bila you just tap to the screen, sebab kita kena ada when you having IoT, you need to make sure you have these three things: sensor, actuator, and controller. So sensor is where you have the data information that triggers what kind of control method that you are using. So maksudnya kalau you nak guna teknologi macam tu, maksudnya you pakai card lah. Card paling senang kita nak dapat personal information of the person lah, from which faculty, because you have student ID lah. In UMP we have student ID, different ID for different faculty, right? Dia ada nombor depan macam UMP, CB for faculty computer, and then you have for SE from faculty science. So from those numbers also we can simplify, oh this student is from this bidang, program apa. Then from there we can have recommendation category of the books is in which category, and then we can recommend this is new books from this category, and then we open suggestion for her to search lah what kind of other books that you want lah. So this is possible lah basically.
Okay, that's interesting. Kalau kita boleh buat memang sangat bagus lah doktor sebenarnya.
Saya ceritalah. Actually kalau idea macam tu, saya projek PSM saya dah boleh jalan dah.
Oh, okay.
Projek PSM boleh jalan dah. Sebab kita sekarang ni, even up until one point, one of my PSM student, final year project student, we are working to simplify nasi campur punya payment. Maksudnya buffet tu, you collect, ambil masuk dalam pinggan, scan dengan AI, you bayar terus pakai MAE, scan dekat screen. So you tak payah, memang konsisten lah. Setakat ni kami try di Cafe UMP, Cafe Pelajar UMP, PAP Pekan tu. Setakat ni budak-budak tu dia buat projek, dia try 4-5 menu, still accurate lah. Cuma dia consider lah kenapa masa aku beli benda yang sama, yang makcik kedai ni RM5, masa kawan dia beli RM5.50. Dia boleh question, tapi dalam sistem RM5 juga. So up until that kind point lah. So the students and the lecturers are very enthusiastic. Okay, kalau you nak buat sistem macam ni, I find out if you are from UTHM, UTM, find out the lecturer that, oh kita ada problem ni, oh dia orang suka ni nak selesai, sebab we have a lot of technology ready on the shelf for us to assemble of those kind of things lah.
Alright, doktor. Okay, ada soalan daripada Puan Yusrina daripada perpustakaan IIUM. WhatsApp connect WhatsApp connect to Facebook. What does Twitter connect to? Since banyak research data is taken from Twitter.
What does Twitter connect to?
What does Twitter connect to?
So I'm also not sure what Twitter lah. Sebab Twitter tu, kalau ikutkan saya lah, Twitter ni dia macam independent sikit sebenarnya. Sebab kalau WhatsApp dengan Facebook dia ada satu company yang sekarang ni nama dia Meta tu kan. And then Google dia ada under company yang ada Alphabet. So Twitter actually dia independent. So cuma problem dia Twitter is that everybody can access. So all people, any people Twitter, any person to cari lah Donald Trump ke apa ke semua orang you can access. Means that dia punya information, sebab Twitter ni just words. So not much personal information lah being distributed. So they can just give anybody access. So mungkin ada software yang recognize you, and the software from any company recognize you, and then they read from your history of Twitter, and then from there they did some analytics, they boleh provide you those kind of recommendation. So Twitter dia memang agak open. Kalau you tengok ada lecturer dia gunakan Twitter sebagai sentiment analysis, nak guna tahu political parti mana yang ada potential nak menang sesi yang ni. So sebab Twitter ni dia much more open lah, the information.
Okay, soalan yang lain daripada peserta? Ada beberapa komen di sini doktor berkaitan dengan face recognition ni lah.
Okay.
Ada yang mungkin ada pendapat mengatakan tidak sesuai. Ada
Okay.
juga yang mengatakan bahawa bila guna face recognition ni selalu tak tepat lah. Mungkin wajah tu mungkin agak sama dengan yang lain ke kan. Jadi sukar untuk mendapatkan satu keputusan yang tepat lah kot.
Oh, okay.
Dari isu ni lah, isu berkaitan dengan face recognition ni.
Okay. Kalau yang isu macam tu, isu biasa. Yang saya andaikan macam ni lah. Masa mula-mula smartphone keluar dululah, iPhone. Semua pakai Nokia, semua pakai ni semua kan. Tiba-tiba keluar smartphone, orang bising isu bateri, internet access tak kuat, semua whatsoever lah. Kan, zaman tu. Tapi sekarang ni everybody, ada siapa lagi kat sini yang pakai Nokia? Saya tak ada siapa kat dalam kita punya member ni pakai Nokia kan. So this is based on the technology improvement. Buat masa ni because the technology is new, there is a lot of lacking lah, still under development. Macam for example, the most problem with facial recognition is the camera technology lah. Macam saya sekarang ni, saya pakai laptop saya punya kamera, which is not that good. Even kalau saya nak compare dengan gambar saya yang dalam tu pun, saya rasa dia tak boleh recognize ni orang yang sama ke ni kan. So there are some cameras that with depth technology yang dia boleh detect kedalaman muka saya, hidung saya mancung panjang mana, okay, pipi saya tembam ke ni kan. So this technology is improving. Okay, right now the accuracy I say maybe 80 to 85, tapi later on in the future maybe there ada improvement lah.
Yelah, masa ambil gambar dulu dengan ambil gambar sekarang mungkin berbeza doktor.
Ya betul.
Ada perbezaan di situ. Okey, doktor ada soalan berkaitan dengan beacon technology. Boleh doktor kongsi sikit maklumat berkaitan dengan teknologi.
Beacon technology ni sebenarnya asas untuk IoT lah. Okay, the first IoT yang diimplemented dekat dunia ni adalah tracker binatang. Okay, yang nak cari gajah dekat tengah-tengah hutan, nak cari binatang orang hutan, binatang-binatang endangered species tengah-tengah hutan, gorila ke apa kan. Dia orang pakai beacon ni lah. So beacon technology ni biasanya dia orang gunakan satellite information lah, satellite access. So those IoT device dia tak semestinya limited kepada Wi-Fi. Ada IoT device dia tak menyampaikan data yang banyak. Contohnya kalau dari segi haiwan-haiwan ni yang pakai beacon ni, dia hanya bagi GPS location je. So GPS location data dia kecil. Okay, ID dengan GPS location. So that bila dia masuk ke satellite, dia masuk ke database, kita tahulah information tu kat mana lah. So selalunya beacon ni dia untuk long range. Macam contohnya kapal kat tengah laut. Kita ada macam beacon teknologi yang kita pakai sekarang, ada satu company, saya tak tahu, yang ni saya dapat daripada Indonesia lah. Company ni present dekat Indonesia. Ministry of Indonesia dia implement fisheries Indonesia, dia implement beacon teknologi ni dekat dalam kapal nelayan yang kecil-kecil. Bot-bot kecil ke apa kan. So bot-bot kecil ni kalau dia nak subsidi minyak, dia kena pasang beacon ni. So bila dia pasang beacon ni, nelayan ni boleh trace dekat mana nelayan dia pergilah. Ministry ni boleh trace, dia pergi sampai border Malaysia ke, dia pergi sampai border India ke. So beacon ni sebenarnya just nak bagi tahu maklumat je, location dekat mana-mana. Dia akan menggunakan selalunya signal dia akan menggunakan satellite directly lah, dan dia punya range, dia punya data tak banyak, kecil, berapa byte sahaja yang mungkin melibatkan ID dan juga GPS location sahaja. Okay.
Assalamualaikum doktor. Normally perisian kita gunakan untuk analisis big data ialah Hadoop kan. So is there any other application lebih friendly yang lebih kita mudah faham untuk membuat analisis big data
Oh okey.
Yang doktor tahulah.
Okey, setakat ni sebab saya tak pernah menggunakan apa-apa application yang sedia ada. Okey, so kebanyakannya saya develop sendiri. Dan ada application syarikat-syarikat yang dia menggunakan simplified version macam Microsoft Azure ataupun Amazon Web Service. Okay, so sebab kita tak ada platform yang proper, dan selalunya big data ni dia based on requirement daripada klien. Kalau macam library, dia perlukan dia ada requirement, serta-serta requirement. Kalau farm, serta-serta requirement. So kita kena develop application analytics ni based on those requirement. Kita tak boleh nak analisis macam tu je. Tak ada application yang, saya rasa pada pendapat saya lah, tak ada application yang proper untuk data yang besar lah. So kadang-kadang mungkin Excel pun boleh. Okay, Microsoft Excel pun boleh untuk operate big data, tapi tengok macam mana requirement yang diperlukan. Dan saya rasa kalau you nak implement betul-betul big data as big as nationwide punya big, I think you need a consultant lah, IT consultant to help you with developing the application lah. Kalau setakat menggunakan Hadoop untuk simplify information, data yang limited, tak ada masalah. Tapi bila we want to go to analytics, untuk automation, itu akan menjadi lebih rumit lah.
Okay. Right.
Okay, ada soalan lagi daripada para peserta? Mohon doktor untuk bagi sedikit kesimpulan doktor daripada topik kita pada hari ini.
Sekejap, ada satu soalan ni dekat chat ni. Kalau Kembar ada isu ke face recognition? Ya, ada isu. Ada isu. Ada isu. Itu antara kelemahan facial recognition right now lah. So kalau selalunya facial recognition kita tak boleh guna stand alone lah. Kita selalunya tap, cut dan juga facial recognition ke macam tu lah. Kita biasanya kita akan make sure that ada backup information that is going to support the facial recognition. Selalu macam tu. Okay, untuk summarize topik saya pada hari ini, okay, saya mengharapkan perpustakaan ni welcome lah new technology, dan sekiranya ada idea, kalau bestnya kalau kita boleh mudahkan ni, kalau ada idea ni, saya suggest share dengan lecturer. Share dengan lecturer. Okay, lecturer, ada siapa-siapa dekat UTM, UTM yang buat IoT tak? So, kita ada rasa kita nak memudahkan urusannya, kerja leceh sebab tengah malam semua ni kan. And then the lecturers can suggest, and then even you can apply grant. Macam saya even UMP support me in terms of grant for development dalam universiti juga. Even up until 200,000 untuk develop perkakas dalam universiti dari segi untuk keselamatan, dari segi untuk information, everything lah. So university is the first test bed for new technology. So please welcome in case there are new ideas from your peers lah, from your lecturers, new ideas. Because like me, I like to go around and ask people lah, macam mana boleh implement lah macam ni. So machine learning ke, image ke apa ke, so that we can support new industrial players, we can support new developers. Dan saya buat semua ni untuk new technologies ni bukan untuk saya sendiri, tapi untuk student sebenarnya. Bila student dia discover new technologies, okay, they are more confident to work alone as a technopreneur. So please encourage development of new knowledge, new technology inside your campus. Please be open with that. So that's all from me. Okay.
Okay je doktor, dah hujung. Cuma tadi, bila kalau projek tu ada student dengan lecturer, in term of maintenance tu nanti macam mana? Sebab macam kalau dengan vendor ke apa, nanti kita akan ada dia punya agreement dari sudut maintenance of the system lah. Tapi kalau untuk yang projek dengan student, sebab dia kan macam satu semester kan? Yang tu macam mana?
Kalau macam saya projek saya buat dengan student untuk projek IoT ni, kita selalunya ada macam kita buat dengan jabatan dalam universiti, macam Jabatan Pengurusan Harta, Jabatan Keselamatan, even satu tahap tu sampai even Jabatan Kesihatan pun ada. Yang di mana dekat situ kita akan train lah, kalau ada problem apa-apa, kita akan make sure yang dia akan ada peruntukan dalam jabatan untuk maintain benda tu. Selalunya kalau kita ada student, macam student yang final year project, okay, kalau kita suggest, macam saya ada team saya lah. Team saya yang ada commercial team lah. So saya akan support lah. Dan kita pun ada UMP Holding. Dan di mana UMP Holding ni kita boleh train technician. Kita boleh train technician, dan technician ni akan support in terms of maintaining those kind of equipment lah.
Okay doktor, saya amat bersetuju lah dengan cadangan doktor tadi. Macam kami di UTHM pun untuk tahun 2021 ni kami telah mula untuk collaborate dengan pensyarah di Fakulti FSKTM, Teknologi dan Computer Science tu. Dan kami dapat juga dana lah, kami dapat research grant bersama dengan pensyarah tersebut untuk menggunakan VR lah dalam kami punya virtual tour, dan juga ada satu projek tu on Research and Innovation for Culture and Heritage Johor. Jadi
Okay,
di dalam tim tersebut kami ada pensyarah, kami juga ada pegawai daripada teknologi maklumat dan juga pustakawan lah. Jadi tim tersebut memang mendapat research grant. So untuk tahun 2021 tu alhamdulillah kami dapat 2 lah research grant. Tapi bukanlah besar kan.
Tak apa kalau tak apa, it's a good start. It's a good start sebab saya besar disebab kita involve equipment macam saya involve dengan Pusat Teknologi Maklumat Komunikasi UMP di mana kita kena beli kabel baru. Contohnya ada satu saya buat infotainment system dalam lift untuk advertisement dan juga security untuk contact communicate real time. So yang tu kami punya grant tu melibatkan beli kabel dalam lift, beli access point. So that's why dia besar. So dia termasuk dalam bajet pembangunan universiti juga sebenarnya. So yang tu yang jadi banyak. Kalau dia sekadar macam for example macam you nak buat infotainment macam online, digital visit ke semua tu. Okay, that one is much more less costly lah. Less costly dan senang diimplement. Saya suggest kalau banyak pun tak apa, bagus. Memang bagus. Buat banyak-banyak bagus yang menunjukkan kita Malaysia ni memang berada di satu tahap yang kita embrace new technology.
So itulah daripada macam isu maintenance tadi yang Puan Azad address, kita mesti ada staff daripada Pusat Teknologi Maklumat untuk membantu kita lah.
Betul,
so,
betul.
Selepas daripada projek, mungkin ada transfer knowledge daripada pensyarah tersebut, daripada tim. Tetapi mungkin ada certain area tu mungkin pustakawan tidak mahir dan perlu juga bantuan daripada teknologi maklumat lah.
Ya, betul. So macam untuk saja saya lah kalau proto projek itu janganlah mengharapkan pensyarah seorang aja. Dia selalunya dia melibatkan pengurusan macam dari segi keselamatan macam kami yang lead dia bahagian OSH, okay, Occupational Safety Hazard semua tu. Dia yang lead dan saya sebagai consultant dan saya sebagai developer buat dan reporting kepada dia lah. Report everything kat dia lah. Bajet semua dia akan buat dan dia akan report kepada Naib Chancellor, pejabat Naib Chancellor semualah. Daripada situ kita tahulah yang lecturer tu tahulah, oh dia bukannya dapat projek ni main-main, dia kena jawab ni kalau dia tak settle ni sebab bajet ni daripada Naib Chancellor kan. So ada isu-isu macam tu lah. So kalau macam setakat grant dapat dari RMC and then buat, lepas tu biar macam tu je, dia selalunya tak berapa impactful lah. So saya suggest kalau collaborate dengan macam pengurusan harta, PTMK, kalau kami pejabat teknologi maklumat ataupun pejabat-pejabat atau department lain lah. Even up until kerohanian pun ada juga. Bajet kerohanian kan macam setiap jabatan ada bajet masing-masing, betul tak? So daripada bajet-bajet tu, okay, contribute dengan lecturer dan lecturer apply grant lain untuk support juga untuk dia develop dan apply benda tu lah. Dan dia sekali tidak langsung bagi satu akses kepada saya sebagai lecturer lah. Saya punya experience, dia bagi satu peluang kepada lecturer tu untuk mula dari dalam. Dia mula dari dalam dan bila dia dah confident dengan dalam application dia berjalan dengan lancar dalam universiti, dia boleh keluar. Dia boleh contribute dengan orang luar daripada masjid dalam universiti pergi ke masjid ke dalam negeri, peringkat kebangsaan. Okay, so yang ini dia membantu dari segi pengembangan ilmu sebenarnya. Sekarang ni macam mana cakap lah, kalau dari segi pengembangan ilmu saya sebagai lecturer, kita ingat macam mana. Kalau dulu Henry Ford masa dia cipta kereta, orang compare kereta dengan kuda. Dia kata kuda lagi laju. Kuda tu lagi laju. Henry Ford tak give up. Dia buat juga kereta sampai sekarang kereta pun dah macam laju gila kan. Kalau tak, orang naik kuda je. So ada dalam situasi yang sama macam tu juga. Ada orang yang negatif, tapi kalau with a proper supporting environment, a lot of things we can do lah.
Okay. Betul. So alhamdulillah kita telah sampai ke penghujung program. Terima kasih sekali lagi kepada TS Dr. Syafiq Fauzi Kamaruzaman di atas perkongsian yang berkaitan dengan Internet of Things, dan juga terima kasih kepada semua para peserta yang hadir pada pagi ini yang telah memberi tumpuan yang sangat baiklah sepanjang program. Okay. So alhamdulillah ini adalah merupakan modul yang terakhir sebenarnya kepada para peserta, khusus kepimpinan. Untuk Ketua Pustakawan dan Timbalan Ketua Pustakawan ni kita ada satu lagi program next week 13 hari bulan 8, dan untuk pengetahuan doktor juga program ini telah berlangsung daripada bulan 8 lagi 23 bulan 8 yang lalu. Okay. So komitmen daripada semua peserta adalah amat dihargai, begitu juga dengan sekretariat dan juga facilitator. Dan masa berlalu begitu cepat. Okay, so ini adalah ada modul emerging technology. So next week kita ada last session lah sebelum kita akan ada closing pada bulan Februari nanti. Dan setiap kumpulan akan ada assignment ni doktor untuk buat presentation. Okay, so terima kasih sekali lagi. Saya akhiri dengan saya mohon maaf sekiranya ada sebarang kesilapan atau kelemahan di sepanjang saya mengadakan program ini. Saya sudahi dengan wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya serahkan kepada Cik Pengerusi Majlis. Sekian, terima kasih.
Terima kasih diucapkan kepada yang berbahagia Teknologis Dr. Syafiq Fauzi bin Kamaruzaman di atas perkongsian sebentar tadi. Majlis juga mengucapkan terima kasih kepada moderator Puan Zahara binti Abdul Samad. Para hadirin yang dihormati, bagi meraihkan majlis sebagai tanda kenang-kenangan, para hadirin diminta mengaktifkan kamera masing-masing untuk sesi bergambar. Okay. Senyum. 1, 2, 3. Kekal senyum. Okey, boleh tunjukkan thumbs up. 1, 2, 3. Okey. Ucapan terima kasih atas kerjasama yang diberikan. Alhamdulillah, jam menunjukkan waktu 12.28 tengah hari dan kita akan berhenti seketika bagi sesi rehat minda. Majlis akan bermula semula pada jam 2.30 petang dengan perkongsian sesi yang ketiga. Terima kasih.
Terima kasih Dr. Syafiq.
Terima kasih Dr. Syafiq.
Thank
Terima
you.
kasih Dr. Syafiq. Terima
Okey,
kasih.
sama-sama.
Kami
Thank you
boleh
very
tanya.
much.
Terima kasih
Okay.
banyak-banyak. Banyak belajar.
Okey.
All the best, Doktor.
Okey, thank you.
Thank
Okey,
you.
Assalamualaikum.
Okay.
Salam.
Assalamualaikum.
Take care.